Hello everyone, what is up? Nubby here, back with another video, and in today's video I want to talk about a little gacha game that I have been playing recently called Etheria Restart. I have been playing this gacha game for a little over a month now, and in this video I want to talk about what exactly is Etheria Restart, how was my experience playing Etheria Restart, and would I recommend you to play Etheria Restart. So with the introductions out of the way, sit back, relax, and please enjoy the video. Etheria Restart is a sci-fi themed gacha game developed by XD, the same developers who had a hand in making other gacha games like Sword of Convalaria and Ragnarok Mobile. And in the world of Etheria Restart, global warming is a lie. In fact, it is very cold, as an apocalyptic cold wave known as the Cryo Snow swept across the entire world, plunging humanity into a frozen disaster. And in order to save mankind, the United Government created a virtual world called Etheria, where people's minds, memories, and awareness could be digitized and uploaded, allowing humanity to survive and restart their lives inside this new digital world, safe from the cryo snowstorms. In this new virtual world, humanity built massive, prosperous cities, coexist with beings known as animuses who possesses unique abilities, and for the most part, humanity was once again able to live their lives in relative peace. However, this peace and prosperity did not last. External threats like the Genesis virus began corrupting animuses into terrifying monsters, while at the same time, internal conflicts, including power struggles between factions and the growing tension between humans and animuses, continued to escalate. And as players, we will have to take on the role of a hyperlinker, venturing into the world of Etheria alongside our animus companions to uncover the truth behind these rising threats and to protect humanity's new home in Etheria. And that is all you really need to know about the story and world setting, as from here on out it doesn't really matter, as I can say this with absolute certainty that everyone who plays Etheria Restart is not playing for the story. Like, come on. The United Government solution to an apocalyptic cold wave world-ending event is the metaverse by Mark Zuckerberg? Look, you don't play Etheria Restart for its story or world building. You play Etheria Restart for its great turn-based PvE and PvP combat gameplay. And yes, you heard me, this is a gacha game with PvP, with the devs aiming to turn this game into an esports, hosting their very first Etheria World Summit global competition in Shanghai, China, with large cash prizes up to 15,000 US dollars this very year of 2025. You play Etheria Restart to spend hours grinding, to sweat your balls off farming gear and materials in the multiple PvE game modes and events to build and develop your characters, for you to then enter and climb the ranks in the 3 PvP modes with pick and ban phases before you finally enter into real-time combat with another player and mostly lose, but when you finally win and outplay or outpick and ban your opponent's team, it feels fan-fucking-tastic. And if you are done with the PvE grind and pushed as hard as you can for the PvP rankings, there is also weekly guild wars, where your guild or union will go into war with another union using the characters you have built to defend and attack to help your union climb the ranks. Overall, it is obvious that Etheria Restart's main selling point is its strong PvE and PvP gameplay with multiple PvE and PvP modes for any player to spend hours playing. Moving into my personal experience with Etheria Restart, for context, I pretty much went in completely blind. I first heard about this game through the Gacha Mates podcast, where Vulcan mentioned how much fun he was having during the beta, calling it his next big gacha game, and that alone piqued my interest enough to check it out when it launched globally. And oh boy, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. This game easily took away 3 weeks of my life, as most of my free time went straight into grinding and progressing my account. And honestly, the PvE felt great. Each stage I cleared felt rewarding because it was actually hard. I had to build different teams for different content. Some stages needed crowd control, others needed speed debuffers to slow down lightning fast enemies. It kept things interesting and it made the turn-based combat feel very strategic. But the real fun that came from the PvP game modes. Fighting other players, trying out different team comps, and beating whales as a free-to-play player feels really good. I spent hours in the PvP arenas, and even though I only reached around gold in terms of ranking, I didn't care. I was genuinely having fun, at least during the honeymoon phase. Because after the first week or two, the cracks of Etheria Restart started to show, and for me, the biggest issue was how Etheria Restart handles its daily farming and stamina system, especially when compared to more mainstream gacha games like Withering Waves or Honkai Star Rail. For example, in Star Rail, you get a max of 300 stamina, and each relic farm costs around 40 stamina. In Etheria Restart, on the other hand, your stamina cap is lower at around 200, but each stage costs only 10 stamina to farm, which sounds like a good deal since you get more to farm. On top of that, you earn extra stamina just by doing daily quests and checking into your guild, which means you can easily end up with hours of farming to do each day. And here is where the double-edged sword comes in. The PvP is really good, the combat is fun, but it takes too long, and the combat in the daily grind and farming stages overstays its welcome. Since this is a gacha game, I obviously don't have the perfect team for every boss or every farming mode or stage, and maybe it is also a bit of a skill issue. Maybe I didn't build the right characters or I didn't use them well, but even for basic daily farming stages, my team would often take like 2 to 5 minutes depending on the stage, and you might need to clear 20 or 30 stages a day. That is an hour or more just doing dailies. And if you get bad RNG and your team dies in 5 minutes, you have to start the whole stage over again. Early on, this wasn't a huge problem. The stages were, faster and easier to clear, but eventually it got to a point where I was spending an hour a day just grinding dailies in Etheria. Well, I could finish dailies in Star Rail in under 10 minutes. And I played this game during an absolutely busy month for me. I had 4 college assignments to finish, a 3-day road trip to plan and go on, and I was still juggling 3 other gacha games. And starting in the 3rd week of me playing Etheria Restart, I started really hating the PvE grind. I stuck around because I genuinely loved the PvP side of the game, but it always felt like I was being forced to slog through PvE just to enjoy a few minutes of fun in the PvP game modes. So now, being about a month in playing Etheria Restart and after going through the honeymoon phase, in my opinion, Etheria Restart is first and foremost a very good game with really enjoyable turn-based combat, especially in PvP. But this is also a gacha game with other issues such as the inconsistent communications from the development team, issues with localization, and annoyingly low drop rates for materials and resources. Like, you could spend hours farming for nothing. And look, I get it, grinding is a part of the game. I expected low drop rates, but when each stage can take up to 5 minutes and the results is either a failed run where I have to restart the whole fight or a win with unusable trash tier gear, it just feels really bad. So in all honesty, I can say that Etheria Restart is a good game with a great beginner experience and a strong first impression, if you don't care about the story, that is. But after that, it is not really a game for me, and it is not really a game that fits my schedule, as I feel if I were to stop playing Etheria Restart, I would save so much time in my day, and I feel once you feel that way about any game, it means you don't really enjoy the game anymore. So with all that is said, would I recommend you to play Etheria Restart? With all honesty, absolutely yes. I know that for the most part of the video I have been talking negatively about the grind and time requirements for Etheria Restart, but at the end of the day, good gameplay speaks for itself. As well, I may have issues with how the developers are communicating and handling all the issues I have mentioned. Etheria Restart is still a very fun turn-based game with great beginner experience that makes it so easy to recommend this game to other people. As during my honeymoon phase, I recommended this game to a bunch of my real-life friends, some of which are still playing and enjoying Etheria Restart to this very day, showing just how strong Etheria Restart's core gameplay and beginner experience is. And while I might be quitting Etheria Restart after making this video, I do not regret the time I have already spent playing this game, because I genuinely had a lot of fun during my time in the world of Etheria Restart, beating hard bosses in PvE, building teams and sweating it out in PvP. And who knows, maybe you'll have a lot of fun too. Anyways, that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like, share, comment and subscribe. And as always, if you disagree with anything I have said, feel free to call me a dumbass in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching the video. Nubby out.